So now that we've completed the majority, if not all, of the winter prep, I mean, we're never going to be completely done. It's time that I shift my focus back over to the shop. So the framing of the shop is all done, but we clearly have other stuff that we've got to get done. For instance, all of the work around the door to seal it off from the outside. In addition, we also have the trim work that needs to be done on the doors. I've got a little bit of gravel work to do outside to make sure that the doors, when they open up, they're going to clear the gravel. The gravel outside is going to heave with the frost, so I just want to make sure I've got enough clearance there. The other thing we're going to have to do is add the latches to the doors so that we can keep them shut. Right now I'm screwing them in on a 2x4. That's definitely not the best way of doing it, but I had to do it that way to make sure that as the doors dried, after we hung them, that they didn't twist out of shape. But the first thing we're going to do is finish adding the strip of cedar behind the top of the doors. That way when we shut the doors, they don't continue to swing in and put pressure on the hinges. So we're going to add that and then go from there. I also have to clean up the shop a little bit because I've got so much crap in here right now. It's been kind of a dump all simply because I haven't had any place to put anything. So So in lieu of weather stripping in this door jamb here, because I've got to be able to seal off that gap, what I'm going to do is cut a couple inches of this rubber here in strips, and then I'll be able to fold it over, and that'll be my weather stripping. This rubber is reclaimed, and on the back of it has some cardboard that looks like it had been glued. So we're just going to go ahead and remove this backing on it so we can just have the rubber. So I don't know if this is going to work. I suspect it will, but we're gonna do it anyways and just see what happens. Not too bad for some reclaimed rubber. So now that we're done with our weather stripping and our trim on the inside, the next thing we've got to work on is putting a latch and then also putting trim on the outside of the door. So the first thing we have to do is remove all of the screws and extra lumber that I have attached. Then we can go ahead and cut up our trim, throw our trim on there, and then we can go ahead and attach the latch. So beginning this summer this year, in almost all of our videos, you're going to hear some rattling in the background, especially when we're outside. There's a reason for that, and that is we have hung up these tin pans sporadically through the garden, and we do that to help deter predators from the garden during the garden season. But now that we have our chickens out here and we're going to be getting into winter, we're going to leave these tins out here for the winter to help, keep predators away. Whether it helps or not, I don't know. It should help because it is random noise that's taking place, and we've become quite accustomed to it. So just if you were wondering what that noise was, that's what it is. So we've got the latch on here, and that's cool. We've got all the trim up. So I think as far as these doors are concerned, I think we might be done. So let's take a look inside and see what we've got going on in there. So now that the doors are done, I think we're going to switch gears and start working on our corner shelves. So I'm going to build rectangle shelves in each corner for two reasons. Number one, to provide some shelving, right? Some storage space. But the second reason I want to do it is to tie the corners in and give the building a little bit more strength. Once I have all my corner shelves in, then I'm going to go ahead and wire it. But because it is getting dark and it's getting cold, I think I'm going to call it a day. I'm glad that we got the door done, but there's a lot more to do. You guys sniffing out any boogeymen? Make sure there's no boogeymen in here. Hi folks, so today we're going to be working on our corner shelves. The first thing I've got to do is clean out some space in each of the corners. I've got to get some measurements for how wide I want these shelves to be. And then we're going to start cutting some 2x4s. I want to get all of my pieces cut, and then we'll start working on putting it all together. So if I put a 2x4 here, 2x4 here, 2x4 here, then I have a 2x4 come off of this, then I have a 2x4 on the outside. Alright, so we're going to go with 25 inches. 25 inches. Well, like most things around here, building this first shelf took a hell of a lot longer than I anticipated, but it's done. So I used 2x4s and then hemlock for the boards, and I think it came out great. On the bottom here, on this 2x4 support, I added I think it's like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch piece of plywood, just to give me a kind of a footer spot there, but I like it. Now I just need to do 3 more. So it's been a few days since I last filmed inside the shop over there. I've got this farm jack with me because, well, a couple days ago I went over to a neighbor's, gave him a hand leveling out one of his buildings. I ended up using my bottle jacks, but I got to put this guy back away now. All right, now that we've got this put away, let's go to the shop and I'll show you what we've got done. Now, in a perfect world, I would have loved to have been able to finish all the work I need to do in the shop without interruption. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. After I finished the shelves in the shop, I then had to help Jen with her craft fair. So we did that, and that was an absolute success. And for those of you folks who came out to say hi, thank you so much. It was really nice meeting you guys. We are actually doing another craft fair on December 7th. So that's going to be in Hodgdon. And if you folks are interested, I'm going to leave the information for you right here. And if you guys can make it out on December 7th in Hodgdon, Maine, We would love to see you folks. Say hi, shake your hand. And you know what? If you guys are feeling so compelled to do so, you can buy one of Jen's crafts. Now, in addition to that, as I said, I also had to go visit a neighbor. He needed an outbuilding leveled, and so I took my farm jack and also some bottle jacks, and we went out there and spent the day with him getting that leveled up for him. And now that all of that is done, now we can start working on the shop again. And what we've got to do now is get electric in here. All of the shelves came out perfect. They tie the corners in on our shop real nice, and it gives us some extra storage space. I'm really happy with the way that it came out, and now I'm looking forward to getting some electric in here. So the first thing we have to do though is remove all of the old outlets and the Romex out of the shed, since I don't plan on putting electricity in here. To get some of these hard to reach places, it looks like I'm going to need an extension. So to run our electrical lines, I'm simply going to drill a 1/2 inch hole through each of the studs. I'm going to run the Romex through the studs, and I'll be installing outlets every so often. Well, we had to turn the generator on, and I do have this light, so we're going to keep working in the dark. Rex is doing his thing. We did get a little bit more work done last night, but now that we have the light, that's gonna definitely let us work more at night. So, which is huge, because up until now, once the sun goes down, there's really not much I can do. So, all right, well, let's take a look and see where we're at. All right, so far we've got power, we've got an outlet there, and that is where we will be plugging in the generator. And then we've got an outlet here, we have an outlet here, and then we're into this monstrosity here. Basically, I'm wiring this where we'll have an outlet here, we'll have a switch for the lights here, we're gonna have a box, and we're gonna run a line this way and around, and we're gonna put an outlet over here. So, and I think I'm gonna put an outlet right here as well. But, all right, let's see how far we can get today. So last night we made some connections here, and I want to make sure that they're good. So, and we didn't short anything. And that feels like we may have shorted something. I'm not sure. Oh, those were touching. We don't want anything shorting. So we're going to try this again. All right, so there's nothing shorted there. But what I want to make sure of is that all of the 3 lines that I have connected in here are actually all still connected. So we're gonna, all right, so that's connected, which is good. Okay, so I've got most of all of the wiring that I want done. The last step that I have is I've got to raise that line up to the ceiling so that then I can install the shop lights. But before I do that, I've had a hell of a time trying to get around in the shop area here. So what I think I'm gonna do now is just spend the next 20 minutes or so and just try to organize this. I kind of have an idea of where I want some of the equipment. So we're gonna go ahead and put those in those spots, and we'll see what the shop looks like when I'm all done. All right, so after a little while, we finally got the shop cleared out. Everything is in a place for the most part. We're gonna be making some changes. a little bit later down the line. But for right now, everything is kind of in a place. I'll show you what we've got going on, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna do next. So right now, everything is up against the walls. So that's cool. I'm happy. We've got the whole center of the shop area, obviously, except for this and that little pile there we'll get rid of. But hopefully I can park the tractor in here tonight, which will be nice. So the next thing we've got to do is I have to run this wire here up and over and attach a box right there so that I can plug in my shop lights. Now I only have 2 of them, so I'm only going to run one on this side, one on this side, and then we'll get some more lights later. All right, so the moment of truth. We're gonna start the generator up. We're gonna get the extension cord. We're gonna power everything up and see if we get our first light. Assuming this light works, then we'll add the second one over here. So before we plug this in, I do want to check one more time to make sure that the hot is not grounded. So I've got my multimeter here. Let's see. Nope. So we're not shorted. So that's a good start. We're going to go ahead and plug this in and see if we can't get the light on. Yeah, it is getting really dark in here, so we're gonna go ahead and flip the switch over here and let's see if we have lights. And there it is. We have lights. That is freaking awesome. So now that we know this one works, we're gonna go ahead and get the second one put up right here. And there we go, first lights in the shop. So this changes everything because now I can work in the shop at night and I don't have to worry about having to go inside and calling it a day. This is probably the biggest accomplishment we've had in quite a while, so I'm really happy to have these lights in here. I know, they're only lights, I get it, but if you knew our situation, when it goes dark, we have to go inside. You know, we can wear headlamps and so forth, but it's just not the same. Now that I have lights in here, now if I have projects and stuff, I can keep working on them. That's huge, you know? And if you ask me in a few years from now, I'll probably laugh at the fact that I was so excited about having lights, but here they are. We got them. The shop is lit. All right, folks, well, I've got as much as I can get done right now. I do still need to add some 2x4 hangers here to support those cross members or cross beams, but we're gonna have to put that off put that on hold right now. We have a pretty big storm coming tonight. It's supposed to start at about 4 p.m. and last through the morning. Last I checked, it was anywhere from like 7 to 10 inches of heavy wet snow. We've got a lot to do in the yard area to get ready for this. And so we're going to be cutting this video short here so that I and Jen can go focus on getting the things ready that we need to get ready. Now, that storm is the first big storm of the season, and with that comes all kinds of chaos for us. We've got to make sure everything is functioning the way it is. All of our snow removal is ready, and it's going to take a lot of time for the next couple of days. And the kicker of it is today is Thanksgiving. So we also have some dinner to go to today, and that's going to be pretty exciting, just to kind of hang out with our neighbors and enjoy this beautiful Thanksgiving. As for you folks, we hope that you have a great Thanksgiving yourselves. And if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you folks on the next video.